Howdy folks, if you're watching this to figure out how long it takes to get from the Cathlamet bridge pretty much to the Astoria bridge, that is a 7-hour journey averaging about 3 knots. I buck current most of the way. Enjoy the video otherwise. Oh, and on our next video, you can see the surprises we found when we got the boat pulled out of the water. Ouch. Next video, you can see the surprises. Just leaving our orange, heading to Cathlamet for the first night, and then going down to get our boat pulled out and painted. Starting to look a little more homey. Working good with the solar panels. Made it out of copper. You can watch that video if you want. I don't know if it's any cheaper than a regular one. I had no choice when to leave today because of the tide. I have about a 2-hour gap to get out of our place, otherwise it's too dry. Some parts of the year you probably can't even leave, but going against the wind, and I think the last remaining current going 2 knots. Woo. Good old Columbia. Rounding the corner here at Cathlamet, the marina. It's hard to pronounce. Like, come on, what is it? Got the sails on. I'm gonna try it probably today if there's wind. Yesterday would have been perfect. Just leaving Cathlamet. About to enter the shipping lane going down to Columbia, which there's lots of room to get by people. I'm not worried about it. We'll see how long it takes to get from Cathlamet to Astoria. Non-weary of currents, it is what it is. Still like to use charts, and I use Savvy Navi. I wasn't informed about Navionics. I probably would have had that if I'd have known how much more popular it is, but the Savvy Navi is pretty good. It's got a few things that I think Navionics doesn't, and I'm already there and it works. So right through this section of the Columbia, which is probably about 8 miles down from Cathlamet, it starts to get real islandy, and there's some shallows here, but it's not too bad. It's about 20 feet, but if I was going to anchor just somewhere up the river, because when I come back up, I'm probably going to have to pull off around here and stay the night. and I'll just find something on the other side of one of these islands so I'm not getting tatered by the waves on these boats going up. Big giant boats. Which got a cool story. The first time we went to Cathlamet, I anchored. It started getting late, it was dark, and I just wanted to anchor, so I anchored on the side of the river, just in plain view and no protection and in pretty harsh current. And we got woken up in the middle of the night by some ocean-sized chops. The boat felt like it was going about 45 degrees. It literally flung us out of bed, flung everything around. The entire mast was just going woo, woo, woo. I came out, looked outside, and I saw water, saw air. It was crazy. Good lesson learned though. I'd only do that again if I absolutely had to. Got a decision to make. Can go through the Woody Canal. It's got some shallow spots, some seeing 8, 6. Reconnect with the shipping lane. Or I can take the shipping lane where all the current is and probably do closer to 6 knots instead of 4.5 I was doing. But then I'll see a consistent array of these guys. Big ships. They make the river look small. So the Woody Canal or the river, man. I think I'm going to stay in the river. It's kind of cool seeing the big ships. And I don't know enough about the Woody Canal. It might be one of those things I'd be better off talking to a sailor that's done it, in case there's any sections that have underwater pillars, which is quite regular on the Columbia. If you don't know where you're going, you could hit a big row of them and it would ruin your day and maybe your boat. So I opted in the ship lanes. We are just now passing Miller Sands, which you can't really see. It's funny, I had the sails up for about 10 minutes. The wind completely died. About the time I got them ranged and back down again. There's a little wind, but it's just not enough. So we will continue to motor Miller Sands. I'm at about the 3.5 hour mark from origination, which is about 6 miles before, or from here it would be past Cathlamet, Puget Island. East Bernie Slough, to be exact. Here we are, Miller Sands. So on the chart here, we're following this. We're kind of in here right now. There's Miller Sands. And then we take this final left. Pretty much goes. Next page is just a little bit, and the marina's about here. It's where I'm getting pulled out to look at the bottom of this boat and paint it. Exciting stuff. We're getting our first glimpse here at the Astoria Bridge. Barely see it. You probably won't be able to see it, but I'll show you anyways. There's some nice beach. We are right about here. Off this page finally, right here. Final stretch, we're only going about 4.3 knots. And we're in the main channel, so that means that the tide is coming in. I didn't look because my Savvy Navi's on my phone, which I've been using pretty regular. Now I know I need a navigation regular, like a screen that I can have going, and I can use my phone for other things and have it as a backup navigation. On that note, I'm going to get the B&G, I think it's called the Vulcan 7-inch. It's like $750. The transducer I ordered was $360. But it has the speed, capability, temperature, and of course depth finder and fish finder. So I'm excited to get that on the boat. I was only able to afford the transducer at this point. So that'll be the one of two things I'm doing in Astoria, is painting the boat, or the bottom, the anti-fouling, and then I'm also going to try to get this transducer in. So when I can afford the next piece, which will go here, this is going because it doesn't work. I have a new one to put over here. All that comes out. The only thing that works is the Hawkeye. I love that thing. Alright, back to motoring. On another note, good foods to bring when you're boating, because I kind of was a little lackey prepared, but I had a couple things on the boat that saved my butt. Honey, peanut butter. Those are like the best things you can have on the boat. All I had was some crackers, and both those things are good with crackers, bread, about anything. All right. Peace out. There's some really bumpy dunes. I don't know if you can see it. It's just mogul after mogul after mogul. Dirt biker's paradise. Whoa. Just got some badass swell. This could be permanent in this part of the Columbia. Cool. Love waves. So it's going real slow, going about 2.7 knots. We're next to a big sandbar. This on my Savvy Navi looks like a giant island, but you can't see any of it. That would be scary in the old days to try to predict that kind of stuff. But making some just top ramen. You ever try to go like this with your charts? Doesn't work. So I'm in Astoria. In the beginning, there's this wall. I'm riding it close. Seems to be a little bit of an eddy here. I'm getting about 3 knots instead of 2. But it's a little dangerous being this close to this wall. But if something happened, I just throw my fenders out, hope for the best, try to protect the boat. Putting a little faith in it today. So I'm in Astoria. In the beginning, there's this wall. I'm riding it close. Seems to be a little bit of an eddy here. I'm getting about 3 knots instead of 2. But it's a little dangerous being this close to this wall. But if something happened, I just throw my fenders out, hope for the best, try to protect the boat. Putting a little faith in it today. Astoria next to, looks like a building that had some serious trouble. In Astoria, going under the bridge. Looks like my boat's gonna barely make it by about 150 feet. So we're way out there. Got to do the 8th mile walk to the office.